Alright, welcome back everyone to Master of Command. I am Prophet of the Constitution, and today we are continuing our Kingdom of France campaign with the King's Household. Our army is advancing pretty good. We don't have a lot of gear. We did sell a lot of that to take advantage of sale prices in Paris. But we have a full brigade of cavalry. It's fantastic. We do have half a brigade of artillery. Plenty of recruits to mold as we see fit. And then we actually have a decent infantry line here as well. So I'm very pleased about that. Let's see. Ooh, you need a sword. Let's put that in there. Okay. So we're going to try to get a bunch of these encounters down here, including the 2 outposts we need for our mission. Then we're going to try to get up here to the encamped armies before the headquarters battle. So let's see what we can do. Alright. River crossing, yes indeed. We are going to play it safe. Let's do it. And we capture them. Excellent. Including some new bayonets. We're going to need to use those. Alright, let's put the bayonets on there. Fantastic. Okay. Thinking we might go down and then back up again. Potentially. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get this herd down here. Wild horses. And fantastic, because we are the King's Household. We get 2 excellent horses. We're going to put those to use immediately. Oh yes. Move speed. You need move speed. These 2 have 34s. Oof. Alright, fantastic. It's not perfect, but it definitely helps. I'll wait till they get a better horse. It doesn't improve their speed that much. Okay, fantastic. Let's go on to these slums. Hopefully they're pretty good. See what we get for it. The feud. Some weapons. Volunteers. We'll get the volunteers. Encampment. Exiled officer. Persuade him to join us or offer him a commission. Yeah, we'll offer him a commission just to be sure we get an officer. Hopefully he's pretty good. Morale received, command radius, combat effect. Wow, he is not bad at all. At all. Fantastic. Alright, check out this herd next. Just moving on the line here. A deer in the field. We're going to do hides. And they're both excellent. Fantastic. Alright, let's see. Defense is needed. Yep, we got some field works. Finally, we're able to do those for the mission. That was not good that didn't go well before. Alright. Reservists. Recruit infantry regiment or regiment with great equipment. Yeah, we're going to do that. Let's get a new line infantry. Oh, it's not an infantry, it's an artillery regiment. Oh, never mind. That's our artillery from the mission. I forgot we completed that. And French Fusiliers. Alright. That's alright. We can deal with French Fusiliers. That's not bad at all. Alright. That sounds phenomenal. And the 5th Royal Artillery comes with bronze 12-pound guns. I like that. Really like that. Okay. Let's get this convoy down here. We do got to head back up here soon to get provisions. Anyway, smugglers. And we can negotiate for excellent rations. Fantastic. Without having to pay for it either. That's really good. We get both of them. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. 133 out of 153. We have 20 days to get these 2 encamped armies. And potentially anything over here. Not sure how long it would take to get this. Let's go for the convoy. Let's do that. Hidden contraband, thorough search. We found contraband, got some weapons. We really need that. We're going to begin to outfit our men. That's Charleville. That's alright. Change up the Scots. I think I'm going to give them the Soule. Fusiliers there have Charlevilles. They've got Neustadt. Let's give them the land patterns instead. Alright. Let's give them a new rifle. Well, muskets, I should say. Because they all have garbage worn muskets at the moment. Alright, that's looking a lot better. A lot better. Fantastic. This will work very well. Alright. Let's see. We'll check out the slums and then we'll come down this way. We'll do that. We'll follow the road afterwards. Alright. Ooh, enemy army. Let's hit them first. We definitely need that. We need to do some more fighting. 2 cav, artillery, and 5 infantry. We can do this. This will work out really well. Yes, General Seydlitz. All right. Okay. Not too bad of a battlefield. Let's see, 28 and 20, 22 and 20. Okay, so our cavalry far surpasses their capabilities, which is good. We are going to put our cavalry here on this flank. Infantry, more infantry. Sure, the cavalry's on melee. Alright, the artillery needs to move up right here to this hill. Yes, indeed. Okay. So I'm going to put them here. And just spread out the recruits. And we're going to keep the other set of infantry in the reserve. Our Scots, Italians, and Swiss, and our French Fusiliers are going to stay in reserve for the time being. Alright, this looks great. I'm going to go ahead and move it up here. Need to make sure to spread out our forces somewhat. Alright, that'll work. Make sure our artillery's moving. Let's not neglect that. That would not be good. Fantastic. Speed this up a little bit while everybody gets into position. They just have iron guns, I believe. Yes, okay. Gonna divvy everyone up into lines just to be sure the enemy artillery is less effective against us. Most definitely. We'll make them part of the line because they're just in a good position for it. That works out. Alright. Artillery is ready. Let's tell them to begin firing. Our own cavalry is nearly ready. Yeah, let's target the foot, shall we? Excellent. Alright. charge right there. Alright, intercepting them there. Fantastic. Let me get the general over here for this melee. Getting them in the flank for the foot should be good, but we want to be certain. Alright, that's going well. They need to get the guns, though. They are the fastest of our cavalry, the gendarmes. Alright, we're opening fire on them. Alright, the guns can stop firing on them now. They did get some shots off on our cavalry. That's not ideal, but it'll work. It'll be alright. And then here shortly, we're going to go ahead and spread through their ranks with our recruits. Alright, get ready to move up here. Oh, okay. Or not. I suppose the answer is not. Either way, this is going very, very well. Recruits are going to be able to get plenty of kills, which they need. Alright, doing another charge. This should go fairly quick. Alright, their morale is dropping very quickly. Excellent. Keep doing this some more. And right in the flank once again. Excellent. Order the guns stop firing. I don't want them to accidentally hit our cavalry. That would be disastrous. They're about to break those redcoat recruits, so not long now. One more volley, I think. There we go. Alright. Pretty good battle there. We needed that. Okay, 430. That helps out quite a bit. Not too bad for the items either. Not too bad. Gonna get ammo and tallers for that battle. Plenty of experience to go around. It's exactly what I was hoping for, actually. Let's see. Alright. 3 and 3 now. That works out quite nicely. Yes. We can upgrade our cavalry again. That's good. Alright, fantastic. It's not bad at all. No new guns yet, but that's okay. That's alright. Let's see, we got a full brigade of line infantry. So we don't need that anymore. We do need more cavalry, and we only need one more artillery piece. Though we do need some grenadiers as well. So probably work on getting these guys to be grenadiers, I think. I really think we can use some grenadiers. That'd be fantastic. Alright. Not a bad little battle there. Day 140 out of 153. We're cutting it close to get this. Wow, okay. So Saint-Germain has a trade hub. We can really use that. Let's see. Do we think we can get the slums, the settlement, the battlefield, and both encampment armies before the headquarters? That's the big question we have to ask ourselves. In 13 days, can we do it? I think if we keep up the double quick, we can. It's 1, 2, deserter hideout, re-enlist or storm it. We're going to storm it. Going to rush over here to the settlement. 3, 4. Okay. We are going to need to purchase some more provisions as well. Let's begin by selling off a bunch of things that we don't need. $32 left. See if we can squeeze that out there. Let's see. There we go. Alright. And let's do this again, shall we? $64. Let's do that. Alright. Phenomenal. Make sure we don't sell any of that stuff down there. We're going to need that. Keep our excellent items because we can definitely put those to very good use. Alright. That works out quite nicely. As you can see, I mean, yeah, again, we're lacking a lot of equipment for our men, but 36.49 right now, and having to buy more food. Maybe some more recruits. They have 3 more potential recruits. That leaves us only with 2 slots to get more troops. Not sure if we want that many at the moment, because we don't have enough equipment to outfit them, but also we need to leave some open for some units we may pick up along the way. So I don't know that we're going to get the recruits this time. I might do 1 recruit. Let's do 1 recruit. That should work out. Alright, yeah, that should work out nicely. Okay. Let's see. We can make these guys grenadiers, so we're going to put that here. Melee damage and morale or charge? Probably charge. I'm going to give this to the cavalry. Increase their melee capabilities. Alright, so we got the sales. We got the food. We're pretty well set to go. We do have an enemy army here. We're going to rush to get them. Fantastic. This will go well. 2 cavalry and 3 infantry. We can deal with them fairly quick. Alright, what's the terrain look like here? Alright, settlement, hill, okay. Remove bayonet, remove bayonet, remove bayonet. Go into melee. Get the artillery set up here. They're going to set up on this hill. Put them up here. I don't like how messy those infantry lines are at the moment for deployment, but not a lot I can do with that at the moment. Alright, artillery, let's set you up right here. Looks great. General, why don't you go here? And we'll keep all these troops in reserve back here. Alright, looks good. Got the cavalry ready to fight the enemy cavalry. Honestly, I think I'm going to keep the guns limbered. I think I'm going to let the infantry do this battle. I don't want to expend a bunch of our ammo reserves for this small of an enemy force. I just don't really want to do that too much. Alright, we can send them over here. That wouldn't be too big of a deal. Alright. That looks good. We got a line setting up. We got some decent cover for most of the troops there. Set up the general behind the men. I did consider letting these troops handle the cavalry instead of using our cavalry to handle the cavalry. I did consider that. Get them yet more experience. Don't really like setting them in a river, but there's not really much I can do with this part of the terrain at the moment. So we will go ahead and do that, just so they can get fire on the enemy. Excellent. Looking like they want to circumvent our lines. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think, again, the play is taking out the cavalry with our cavalry. I think so. Alright, fantastic. Intercepting them. That's good. Awesome, they can fall on them together. That's good. And excellent, we took them out. Okay. Now it's primarily an infantry battle, slogging match. Alright, time to speed it up while the infantry trade fire with one another consistently. Go ahead and do a few charges, however. Our recruits aren't doing too bad against those Hessian musketeers. A little surprised, honestly. Especially considering that our troops and theirs are kind of out in the open. That's really great. Let's get the general over here just in case they decide to waver somewhat. Alright. Ooh, those Hessians are quick. We'll just go to the next one. That works for me. And they broke them, and they're about to break the others also. Not long. Will not take long, especially while they're receiving volleys. And we rolled their line. They do have the makings of grenadiers, those recruits. They rolled the line just like I expect the Grenadiers to do. I'm very pleased with their performance. Alright. Looking great. They are 4 now. So, we're going to make them French Grenadiers, so we're going to bring them to the French Royal Grenadiers. I like that. Alright. We're right here, so I'm going to walk into here again and sell this stuff that we just got for the high sale prices. Excellent. Alright, now we're going to move down here to this encamped army. We're going to take them out. 144 out of 153. So we have 9 days. Take out both encamped armies, get the battlefield, maybe the outpost. Alright, let's do this thing. Encampment army, here we come. Alright. So we have 3 artillery, 2 cavalry, 1 Jaeger, Campbell's Highlanders, British Grenadiers, 3 foot and 2 recruits. Alright. This will be a little bit more intense of a battle. We've definitely got to be more efficient in this one. We can't just base it off of experience being required. Otherwise we may take far too many casualties. I was notified too that the music was a little loud in comparison to my own voice during battle specifically. So I went ahead and turned that down a little bit, and go ahead and feel free to let me know if it still seems to be an issue. I can attempt to turn it down some more, or I'll turn it off if I have to be honest. I don't mind the music per se, but I also don't think it's absolutely critical. So we can base it however we need to. Okay, let's see this. This terrain is very interesting. I'm not usually hip on the more open terrain. I'm thinking we set up with the hedgerows here. I'm thinking that might be what we do, considering the rest of this terrain ain't great. And kind of do a sort of an anchor here on the hill where the artillery can go. I think I like that. Alright, well, let's get the artillery over there so we can do that. Let's get these units set up over here. Hold on, where's their Campbells and Grenadiers? It's on this side. Alright, yeah, so we want our more recruit units to be over here. We want our more elite units to be over here. Alright, let's set this up. We're going to get the cavalry moving early. Get them moving out. Divvy up our troops here. Make sure the artillery is set up effectively. And make sure the general has a good spot as well. Alright. So far this looks pretty good. The numbers are fairly equivalent, though they do have more capable troops in general. And certainly better equipped troops. Now I know selling some of those items and everything was taking a risk, but it was a calculated risk. It's going to put us more at risk in Act 1 here, and maybe early Act 2. But mid to late Act 2 and Act 3, hopefully, we will start to see an advantage because of decisions made. Alright. And I think our guns are beginning to shoot at the Jaegers, which is not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. Alright, make sure to keep moving them up. Their guns will likely begin trying to engage us again. Oh yes, the grenadiers. I almost forgot they're grenadiers now. Trying to have them follow those hedgerows a little bit as much as we possibly can. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let me check my artillery here, because I know that some of them are actually in range of the enemy now. And we will be firing at the British foot. Alright. Starting to fan out in lines. We'll see if we can roll their flank with our new grenadiers. That'd be fantastic if we can do that. So those Highlanders are coming up quick. I'm not sure if they're going to give us the opportunity to fire or not. They might decide just to come after us. That'd be suboptimal. See, those provincial cavalry 24-25. Yeah, our guys should be able to beat that. Alright, let's get our other artillery firing on the enemy. Good thing I'm moving some reserves over here to the right flank, because that's the one that's potentially most in danger at the moment. Taking some casualties as we form our line up a little bit there. Alright, new target. We'd better focus on those grenadiers. That could be a problem. The Swiss are pretty good at holding their own, but we want to be absolutely certain. I'm going to keep them in reserve back here in the event we need to resist the Highlanders. They are trying to shoot at our Royal Cavalry. That's not good. Need to make sure we have our other cav units keep up, though, because they still have some cavalry in reserve. It's very dangerous for us, potentially. Ooh, they're not enjoying life at the moment. General, get over there quickly. That's not good. They're about to get charged by the provincials. Alright, everybody charge them. Alright, so far so good. The Swiss are hurting a little bit. Need our cavalry to help remedy the situation here somewhat. And they are charging. Alright. We are going to intercept them. hit them with all of our units here together as best we can. Okay, so unfortunately the Grenadiers are moving forward. We are going to have to do something about that. We are going to hammer their line as best we can with our cavalry. Alright, some of our line is already retreating. Campbell's Highlanders have done a number on our men here on this flank. Oof, those Grenadiers are hitting us hard too. It's not great. Alright, we're going to try to get him with the cavalry charge in the rear. See how this goes. Relying heavily on our cavalry. And they are trying to sweep our line at the moment against our recruits. Alright, come on cavalry, win the day. Excellent, alright. Send you in. I want you to ruin their day. Absolutely devastate them. Alright, shatter them to their core. Alright, we will be fixing that morale problem for our French troops here soon. Yes, indeed. Alright, and there we go. We did win the battle. We actually suffered more morale damage than casualties lost, essentially. Not that our casualties were extremely low, but we did keep them down quite a bit, considering what we had to face. Alright. Victory at Orléans. Very good. Very good. We are going to have to get conscripts. Make up for our losses. Let's see what doctrine you get. Ooh. See, I like that. I like foreign advisors, but it's better a little bit later in the game right now because we still have so much experience that we need for our troops. We are going to go ahead and do frontline focus. Reducing the fire damage received is so important. Also, as far as I know, that counts for cavalry. And the biggest weakness to the French Royal Cavalry is fire damage. If they would take volleys, that's the quickest way to kill them because they have some of the lowest numbers of all the cavalry in the game as far as how many troops are in each unit. Otherwise, they're very good in melee combat. Alright. Move the Grenadiers here. Check the bayonets given to our men here. Give them better bayonets. And they can become Grenadiers also. However, I do believe I want them to be... yeah, maybe we should do German Grenadiers. Either German or Irish. I do want an Irish unit, so I'm going to make them Irish. We may make them Grenadiers. We may make them not. We'll have to see. But at the moment, that definitely seems to be the main idea. Right, who else needs a horse? You're really slow, so we'll get that to you. That should help you out. Veterancy gain. Yes, we need that quite a lot, don't we? Let's put the veterancy gain on them. Alright. They can't have two treatises. Let's do cavalry and charge. Looks good for them right now. Oh, look at this. An upgrade for our artillery. New trait. Oh, none of these are very good. I am going to re-roll it. Artillery range. We'll do that. Sounds good to me. Alright, not bad. Do have some casualties to figure out. One more encamped army, and I believe we're cutting it close here. But I believe we can rush over and grab this outpost as well. So let's do that real quick. Ooh, cutting it close. Defense is needed. Yep, let's do it. Excellent. Now we're going to go to the battlefield as quickly as physically possible. Enemy headquarters is ready to head out. Here we go. They are in pursuit. General, our scouts report the enemy headquarters has mustered its full army and is marching to engage us. Columns move on the main road with advanced guards out. Expect contact within days. We cannot outrun them. We must face them. Alright. Cavalry clash. Ooh, okay, so we suffer attrition either way. I prefer to do this choice. I know it's more attrition, but we're going to suffer attrition anyway. We don't have a lot of reserves left. I'd rather have a likely chance to get the regiment than not. And it's dragoons too. Alright, that'll work. Let's do a new brigade. We really need to open that up. For cavalry, once more. Alright, we'll put the dragoons here. Because that's all heavy cav now. Equivalent, or what will become heavy cav. They have carbines, so we can give them that as well. That'd be great. Alright. And who needs to reload fastest for the guns? Obviously the 12-pounders, so we're going to do that as well. And stamina for them too. Alright. This is looking a lot better so far. We don't have enough to fully replenish our losses. Let's see. I am going to adjust something though. I'm going to take a little bit off of a couple of these units. Because... and let's see. They don't have any ammo, so I'm going to remove it from them. They do have ammo. They need it. They don't need it yet. Okay. The reason being is... I do not want my cavalry not to have enough troops. Not acceptable. Okay. And look at this. We have a commander. What does that do? Morale damage received? Yeah, we're going to make him leader of the cavalry, though. Alright, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, that works. This looks like it'll work excellently. Okay. Have a little bit of time to hit this encamp army. Another Battle of Orleans. 4 artillery, 2 cavalry, 1 Jaeger, 6 infantry. Let's do it. Let's do this battle. This should be pretty good. Alright. Yes. Okay, hopefully the terrain favors us a little bit. Okay, we got a settlement with a river down here. We have settlement in woods up here, though it will take us just a bit to get to it. I do think that's where we want to go, though. Artillery here. Remove bayonets, remove bayonets. You're grenadiers, you want bayonets. That's good. Alright, we're definitely cavalry heavy, that is for sure. Okay. Set up our cavalry on the far flank once again. Very good, very good. Alright. Let me just set the infantry back here for a moment so I can actually work with them. Grenadiers will be back here, kinda. Alright. Artillery's here. We want to set up in a line across here. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we're gonna set the recruits. I'm not sure. I don't really want my elite units taking damage at the moment because it's hard for us to recover them right now. So I may put them in the woods instead. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alright, that actually looks pretty good so far. Not sure what happened there. I messed something up. I think I meant to put the Swiss here. Yeah, that's what I did. Okay. Fantastic. Alright, this works out pretty good. Keep the Grenadiers up here, because they are actually really slow for Grenadiers at the moment. Alright, need our artillery to get in position on this hill. I'm going to send the general over there for now. He won't stay up there because I need him on the line. Make sure it holds. Our early game French line is having some difficulty not routing, unfortunately. Alright, here we are. Looking good. Just depends on how quickly we can get here. That looks like it should be good right there. Fantastic. Okay. Regiment of Swiss. Want to run it concurrently with the buildings there. Let me adjust this a little bit here real quick because it's not really running as concurrently as I'd like it to after all. Alright. Now let's get some recruits over here also. Protect the guns. Set the Grenadiers closer to the line. The voluntaries can cover the flank here. Alright, that looks great actually. As long as we can get our defensive lines set up before we have to engage them proper this time. We're a little closer to where our guys were before. Before we had quite a ways to go. Fusiliers are almost there. Grenadiers are in position. Irish Fusiliers are in position. Get ready to move our cavalry up. Alright, Brunswickers there. Brunswickers on that flank. Alright. Our artillery's hitting us pretty hard. So far we're doing alright though. Definitely time to move our cavalry up now that their line is approaching us. We are outranged there. We are going to have to advance some. Alright, that's alright. We'll get it. good. Gotta take care of their guns. Their guns are hammering the Royal Italien. Don't like that too much. Those are the Von Roth Hussars. Yeah, 52, 57. Our boys are going to need a little help against them, I think. Well, maybe not a lot. Getting that flank attack definitely helped. Send all the cavalry in against theirs. Alright. Hammering them as much as possible. Alright, boys, I need you over here to get their guns. We really need to get the guns before they canister us to death. Ooh, man. Second company. Oh, took some harrowing losses right there. That's not great. How are we doing on the line? We holding? We are. We're holding pretty good, too. Alright, we're going to move up the infantry. And I believe it is time to send in the grenadiers. There they go. Alright, they're approaching us on the left flank. We're winning here in the center. That's great. Alright, let the cavalry do that work right there. That's good. And they are just about finished now. Not long for it, that's for sure. We need to gather up our cavalry, however. The enemy cavalry has returned to the fight. Alright. Irish Fusiliers are heading in. They're going to take on the Brunswickers in melee combat. See how they do. Brunswickers trying to reform, and their resistance was annihilated. Alright. I think it's time to pull all the infantry back. Royal recruits, that meant you also. I'm not sure exactly if you got the memo, but yeah, we're pulling our troops back so that you don't get charged in the flank by cavalry, because that wouldn't be good. better get our cav over there to help them out a little bit. Oof. They took a heavy hit. That's not great. But we did manage to repulse them. And victory. Alright. Most of the casualties were to the cavalry. That was a tough fight. They did receive canister fire, which is always the danger going after the enemy guns, unfortunately. Alright, not bad. Not a bad haul there for items and equipment. Okay, their artillery got quite a few kills on us before we silenced them. And of course, the Von Roth Hussars. Alright. Doctrine. Elan, we can get again. That's funny. That's hilarious. That would be a total of 30% charge. Oof. That's pretty funny. I do like that. Normally I would take night marches to get that campaign move speed, which actually means a little more to me than 15% charge. But thematically, I'm going to do Elan again, because we are the king's household, and we do have so much heavy cavalry and thing, we're going to do it. Alright. That's awesome. Get a new cavalry ability as well. Let's go ahead and check that out. Morale bonus and officer death chance goes down. Reload speed or artillery range. We don't really want those two. This one's not bad for cavalry, but I really want something that makes them more harder hitting. Considering it's our heavy cavalry. Let's try again. Melee and melee damage received. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, we need the cavalry to be up to date. We need them up to date. Alright. We can incrementally increase our troops here just to be sure. Alright, that works okay. Make sure the artillery has enough ammo. You don't need ammo. You do. Alright. Double check our equipment. We have some more land patterns here, which is good because these guys have garbage. We have good bayonets on everyone? Not quite. Alright. Holiday treatise. So who needs more reload? Of course these guys do. Alright. It's not too bad. And who has the lowest morale of our foot troops here? 36 and 36. That's pretty bad. Let's give you some morale capabilities here. Melee damage received. Yeah, we want you to have that for now. Alright. Now we await the enemy headquarters. We could potentially try to grab something else. Or sell some more items here to increase this number. Maybe hire some reservists. Alright guys, thank you for joining me. Been very interesting. We're still struggling somewhat on the resources. The money has gone up exponentially, however. And our army is really starting to take shape now. It looks fantastic. Alright, interesting start. I'm going to call it here. Thank you all for joining me. God bless.